What up, guys? Back again with another UFC Fight Picks video on the UFC Fight Night card. Shogun versus Smith. Let's go ahead and get started here with the Fight Pass prelims. We got Damian Stasiak versus Ping Yuan Liu. First fight of the night. And on the odds here, I'm pretty sure it's a even fight. I guess you got Liu as a very slight favorite. But anyways, guys, my pick is going to be Ping Yuan Liu. So this guy's making his UFC debut. Watch some highlights. Looks like a good striker. Very good amount of power in his hands. Pretty good reach also, 72-inch reach. That's pretty good for bantamweight. Has some submission wins also. And also I think he's on a win streak or something like that. Like he hasn't lost in a while. Let me just open up his page here real quick for you guys. Yeah, so this guy, he began his career at 0-4, and he's been at 11-1 since then. So obviously, you know, this guy's improving, getting better. Now obviously this guy's from China, so I mean, let's see how he does against this level of competition. But from what I've seen his highlights, like I said, he has good striking, good power, has a submission game also. His opponent here, Damian Stasiak, he's not really a striker. He's primarily just a submission grappler. He's going to want to look for the takedowns on Ping Yuan Liu. So I think if Ping here is just able to stop the takedowns, he should for sure be able to outstrike Stasiak on the feet. Also, Stasiak is on a 2-fight losing streak. So yeah, I'm going to go ahead and take Ping Yuan Liu here, the newcomer. And I'm going to go ahead and say he gets a third round knockout. Moving on to the next fight, guys, we got Jeremy Kimball versus Darko Stozic. So it's a very easy fight for me to pick. I'm going to go ahead and take Darko Stozic here in this matchup. Pretty big favorite, -260. This guy has good power in his punches. I think he trains with Crow Cop, or he's a training partner with him or something like that. But yeah, good power in his punches. He's pretty quick. Has a pretty good low kick also. But primarily, this guy's kind of like a technical brawler. Jeremy Kimball, this guy's always either he's finishing you or he's getting finished. And I think this time he's going to get knocked out. So yeah, I'm going to go ahead and take Darko Stozic here in this matchup. And I'll say he wins by first round knockout. Alright, guys, moving on to the featured Fight Pass fight. Davey Grant versus Manny Bermudez. So my pick here, guys, is going to be Manny Bermudez. Reason I'm going to pick him is because I think it's been a while since we actually seen Davey Grant fight. Let's check. I feel like it's been a while. Yeah, since 2016, and that was his last opponent was Stasiak, and he actually got submitted by him. Before that, he beats Marlon Vera, and then before that, he loses to by submission to Holdsworth. So notice this guy, he's losing by submission, and his opponent is a submission specialist. He's a jiu-jitsu guy, and his opponent is also coming off of a second round submission win against Albert Morales, who's a very solid guy at bantamweight. You know, he's pretty like solid, well-rounded everywhere, and he was able to tap him out in the second round. Yeah, look at that, nine first round finishes, 9 wins by submission. He has a triangle, armbar, guillotine, whatever. So yeah, pretty much the way I'm seeing it here is Davey Grant, you know, has poor submission defense, and Bermudez is a submission expert. So I just think he's gonna be able to tap him out. On the stand-up, I'm pretty sure Davey Grant has a good advantage here on the stand-up. But all Bermudez really has to do is just look for some sort of takedown. What else I gotta say? Also, I mean, Bermudez, I mean, he's not like a Brian Ortega. You know, I want to say he's trying to get to that level of Brian Ortega, where, you know, he has good striking and good ass jiu-jitsu. But I mean, he has a submission aspect down, so I think he's gonna get the win here. So I'm gonna go ahead and take Bermudez, second round submission. Alright, guys, moving on to the next fight. At FS1 prelims, you got Justin Ledet versus Alexander Rakik. So I really like this fight because it's two strikers here, but Ledet here is the more complete fighter. You got Ledet here as a very slight favorite. Ledet has submission wins in here in his record. I'm not sure if he has a brown belt in jiu-jitsu, but I'm pretty sure, you know, his jiu-jitsu's up there. Like, he has some good jiu-jitsu. I don't know if it says it right here. Yeah. It doesn't say here, yeah, what kind of, what's his belt for jiu-jitsu, but he has a lot of submission wins. He actually kind of started off as a submission guy and then obviously moved on to boxing. So this guy has really good boxing and very solid jiu-jitsu. I really like how he fights. Very good boxing. Alexander's more of just a striker. He'll use obviously punches and kicks, throws heavy hands, has good power. His opponent, Francimar Barroso, was a tough guy. This guy couldn't knock him out, but he got the win. But yeah, I like Justin Ledet. First of all, this guy was a heavyweight. Now he's at 205, so I think he's going to have more power in those punches. He has great boxing, like I said. He has a very good jab. Long-ass reach, 80-inch reach. Against Alexander, it's not going to help him too much because it's only a 2-inch reach advantage, but it'll still help him a bit. But yeah, I just like Ledet's volume. In his last fight, he didn't look that great, but those other fights, you could really see, his boxing and his submission skills in display. So I think Ledet here is going to look very good in this fight. And I think he could win this fight anywhere. I think he could win the fight on the feet. Or if he wants to be really smart and not take any damage, he would just take Rakik down and work for some sort of submission with his jiu-jitsu game. So I like Ledet. And you know what? More than likely, I think he's going to want to just strike. But like I said, he could get that submission. But since he really likes to strike nowadays, I'm going to go ahead and say Ledet by decision, guys. By decision. That's going to be my pick. All right, moving on to the next fight. Khalid Taha versus Nad Narimani. I think both these guys are making their UFC debuts. Nad Narimani, a pretty big favorite, and he's actually going to be my pick here. Narimani at -260. I just think Narimani is the more complete fighter. He's well-rounded, good stand-up, good wrestling. His opponent is just primarily just a striker, and I think Narimani also has a size advantage. So I think Narimani here is just going to be able to take him down and just beat him up. So I'll take Narimani here by decision. Moving on, we got Emil Meek versus Bartosz Fabinski. Originally, right away, I'm thinking about picking Emil Meek here in this matchup. Wasn't too familiar with Bartosz Fabinski. Then I check his record. He hasn't fought in a long time, but he's not it's not his UFC debut. He already fought in the UFC before a couple times. He's just kind of like a takedown guy. He'll just take you down, use that strength, and just kind of beat you up. His last 2 wins were in the UFC were by decision. So he's won in the UFC. He hasn't lost. But yeah, I don't know why this guy has had such a long layoff. He hasn't fought since like 2015, I think it was actually. I could be wrong. Let me just double check here for you guys, cause we got to get this. We got to get this right. You know what I'm talking about? We got to get this right. So let me just find out for you guys real quick. If the web page loads up. Come on. Refresh it again. There it is. Alright, so yeah, you can see right there physical power. Like I said, this guy's a strong guy. He fought at middleweight also. Forgot to mention that. He fought at middleweight. Yeah, look at that. November 2015. So it's been about almost 3 years. So yeah, it's been a while since this guy fought. And like I said, he was just a takedown guy. Now, his opponent, Emil Meek, in his last fight fought Usman. And he got taken down all day. Usman had tons of takedowns on him. So you could say this is kind of like a bum version of Usman. And actually, I'm going to go with that. So since Fabinski is a bum version of Usman, and obviously Usman did beat up Emil Meek, he kind of just dominated him in that fight. I think Emil Meek obviously learned from that experience, and he's going to obviously tighten up that takedown defense. So I think Emil Meek should be able to beat a bum version of Usman here in this matchup. So I think Fabinski does have some good takedowns. He might be able to get a couple of those takedowns, but I think Emil Meek should be improved from the last time he fought, especially since he fought Usman, who's a very high-level welterweight. And like I said, Usman and Fabinski, both of them are strong, good takedowns. But obviously, Fabinski is not on Usman's level, so I'm going to go and take Emil Meek. It's kind of a risky pick because you never know. Emil Meek, probably didn't improve his takedown defense, and then, he ends up getting taken down the whole time, and then, you're like, oh, man, this guy's just going to lose. So yeah, it's a risky pick, but I'm gonna go and take Emil Meek. That long layoff from Fabinski pretty much convinced me to take Emil Meek. So I'll take Emil Meek here, guys. And this guy has knockouts. you know, before the UFC, but in the UFC we're not seeing that power translate yet. Fabinski seems durable, so I'm gonna go ahead and say Emil Meek by decision. Moving on, guys, to the featured fight on FS1 prelims. You got Nick Hein versus Damir Hadzovic. So let's go ahead and open up both these guys' pages. And you got Hadzovic as a plus 143 underdog. So Nick Hein is the favorite here in this matchup. Now, goddamn, Nick Hein at 155, this guy has no reach. He's just like all cut. Like, this guy doesn't even cut weight or anything like that. Small ass reach. 66-inch right there. Anyways, yeah, this guy was on a win streak before, and then he lost to Davi Ramos. Got tapped out in the first round very quickly. This guy, when he wins, it's by decision. So there's no really a threat to get knocked out by this guy, by Nick Hein. The guy he's beating up, Taehyun Bang. You know, he's beating up guys that aren't that great. Now, Hadzovic actually would kind of fit onto that list. But for some reason, I just think Hadzovic here is going to come out with a win, guys. So Hadzovic's weakness have been the takedown game. Nick Hein, he's not really a big takedown guy. I mean, he's a judo guy. So maybe he could get those takedowns against the cage. But Hadzovic's going to be the bigger guy. He's going to have more reach. I think he's for sure the better striker here in this matchup. It's just all about, can Nick Hein press Damir against the cage and take him down to work those judo throws, and, you know, just kind of hold him down. But I don't really see it happening. This guy against Tyson, he got smoked, but, you know, Tysonov's a beast, so there's no shame in that. Against Marcin, he actually gets kind of like a lucky knockout, and he knocks him out in that third round. Against Alan Patrick, yeah, he just, you know, gets dominated on the ground by that takedown game. But that's, you know, Alan Patrick's more of a physical guy, and Nick Hein isn't. So I really like Damir Hadzovic here as a very sneaky underdog play. I really don't think Nick Hein really is that great. And since he really likes to stand up a lot with that bum reach, I think it's going to really hurt him in this fight, especially against Hadzovic, who I think is a more complete striker. So I'm gonna go ahead and take Hadzovic. As long as, you know, he stops the takedowns, he should be able to get the win here. So I like Hadzovic, and Nick Hein seems extremely durable, so I'm gonna go ahead and say Hadzovic by decision. All right, guys, we're moving on now to the main card. We got Nasrat Hakparas versus Mark Diakis. So kind of an easy fight for me to pick. I'm taking Mark Diakis here in this matchup. I think this guy's now on a 2-fight losing streak. Before then, people were, you know, kind of hyping this guy up a little bit. He was looking good, and then he just lost twice already, 2 times in a row. He lost against, I think it was Drakkar Klose, I think. Yeah, Drakkar Klose, and then Dan Hooker. So Hooker's a beast, so no shame in that. Drakkar Klose, also very underrated guy, another good guy. So there's no shame to this, you know, and this guy losing to those guys. But yeah, I think Mark Diakis here should be able to use that takedown game on Nasrat. Yeah, Nasrat here is just a striker, good power, all wins by knockout. But Mark Diakis is just the more complete guy. You know, very good takedown game. His stand-up isn't that bad, so I'll take Mark Diakis by decision. Moving on to the next fight, guys, we got Danny Hot Chocolate Roberts versus David Zawada. So I'm going to take Danny Roberts in this matchup. First of all, I like his style. You know, very good striker, very technical. Also has some good power. Has some submissions also in his game. But, you know, he's more of a striker. David Zawada, I'm not even familiar with this guy, but from what I see in his record, he has a lot of power. You know, he has knockouts, and he's a striker. So Danny Roberts, what he really needs to do is just avoid the power from Zawada. Because Danny Roberts, guys, this guy, his chin is not that great. So, I mean, you know, he just has to use that footwork. You know, stay on his bike, land his clean shots, and then, you know, move out of the way. Because, like I said, Danny Roberts' chin is not that great, and he's actually a pretty big underdog, or a pretty big favorite. Negative 285. So he's the biggest favorite on the card, I think. Danny Roberts is. And, yeah, I mean, the reason he's such a big favorite is because, well, first of all, he's a lot better than David Zawada, technically. And also because David Zawada is coming in on short notice. So that obviously gives Roberts kind of an advantage in a way. Because obviously, you know, David didn't have time to prepare for Danny Roberts. But at the same time, Roberts didn't really prepare for David Zawada either. But anyways, I'm gonna go ahead and take Danny Roberts, guys. Even though his chin, like I said, isn't that great, but I like his style, and I think as long as he just uses that footwork, keeps that range, lands those shots, and but keeps evading, doesn't get hit by David Zawada, he should be fine, and he might even be able to get a knockout. So I'm gonna go ahead and say Danny Roberts. I'll say second round knockout, guys. Second round knockout. All right. Next guy, or next fight, we got Marcin Tybura versus Stefan Struve. So yeah, I'm not gonna pick Struve, man. This guy let me down a couple times already. So I'm gonna take Tybura. First of all, I just think Tybura is more of a complete fighter. He'll use the ground game. He's kind of just a very complete, well-rounded fighter. He's good on the feet. He's good on the ground. Good wrestling. Good takedown defense. He's just kind of like an all-around type of guy. He's not great at any one thing, but he's solid everywhere. And Stefan Struve, this guy just has not been looking great at all lately. So I'll take Tybura, guys. We might even see Tybura knock out Stefan Struve, but I think more than likely Tybura is just going to be able to beat him by decision. Use that takedown game. Just outpoint him. So Tybura by decision. All right, let me take a sip of this drink here real quick. Hold up. All right, that was good. All right, so next fight, we got Vitor Miranda versus Abu Saitar. So my sleeper play, guys, is gonna be Vitor Miranda. So I'm gonna take Miranda here, guys, in this matchup. From what I hear about Abu, he's a striker, got knockout power. What else? Oh yeah. Also, well, besides him having that that striking and that knockout power, he's not, he's still not that great. So, I think someone like Vitor Miranda, could do some damage here. Miranda got knockout power, and on the feet, this guy's just, always KOing people. You gotta kind of take down Vitor Miranda to kind of win the fight. From what I've seen anyway. Let's go ahead and just open up his page also. But Abu's resume looks solid here. He actually knocked out Jack Marshman, who's pretty solid. 8-fight unbeaten streak, 7 wins by KO. Like I said, this guy's a striker, knockout power. Vitor Miranda, as you guys can see, he's losing his fights. It's usually he's losing by decision, and it's also because they take him down and stuff. Vittori actually landed some good strikes on him, but obviously the takedowns helped him. Kamosi obviously used the takedown also in his fight. But I mean, if you could see, you can see it here in his record. This guy is, he can knock people out. So I like Miranda here as a very sneaky underdog play. It's a risky pick. I mean, obviously Abu's the more younger guy. He's probably more explosive and whatnot. But I just think that if Miranda's keeping the fight on the feet against someone else, he always got the chance to knock you out. So I'm gonna go ahead and take Vitor Miranda as my underdog play here, and I'm gonna go ahead and say he wins by second round knockout. Moving on, guys, now to the co-main event. We got Glover versus Corey Anderson. So I'm gonna go ahead and take Glover Teixeira here in this matchup, only because Anderson kind of has a bum chin. His chin's pretty bad, but if he didn't have that bum chin, I would obviously take Corey Anderson. But since his chin is so bad, I gotta take Glover. Glover has good take on the fans, good wrestling, good power in his punches. He's the better striker. I think he'll be able to stay away from Corey Anderson's wrestling long enough to land a shot on Corey Anderson's chin, and then that's when he'll knock him out and get that KO win. So I like Glover here, guys, and I'll go ahead and take him to win. I'm going to go ahead and say second round knockout. Alright, guys, now for the main event, we got Shogun versus Anthony Smith. So my initial thoughts on this fight was to take Anthony Smith here in this matchup, but I ended up switching my pick here, changing my mind. I'm going to take Shogun, guys. I think this guy still has another couple more solid fights left in him. He's on a 3-fight win streak right now, I think, or 2-fight win streak. He hasn't fought in a while, I think, but Anthony Smith, I see weaknesses in his game. He can get hurt, he can get knocked out. It's not like Anthony Smith has like the best chin or anything like that. He looked good against Rashad, but Rashad, I mean, that guy was just like a body bag. That guy wasn't. He was just nothing. There was nothing left of Rashad Evans. he was just like a bag. You know, there was nothing left right there. So, I mean, Shogun's not like that yet. This guy's, you know, he still throws heavy hands. He's there to fight. He's, you know, he's looking for the knockout. He's still a good striker. Still got that damn power. So I'm gonna go to take Shogun, man. I think he has a very good shot at winning this fight. Anthony Smith is the younger guy, but I think Shogun here will get that knockout win. I just see it happening. So I'm gonna go ahead and pick Shogun here to win this fight, guys. And I don't think this fight's going to decision at all. So for sure, someone's gonna get a knockout, or you know, someone's gonna get finished in this fight. Both these guys are finishers, so expect kind of a quick fight here in this matchup. This is not gonna go, you know, more than 3 rounds. So I'm gonna go and say Shogun, second round knockout. All right, guys. So that does it for my picks. Let me give you guys my top 3 most confident picks. All right. So top 3. Where are we at here? Top 3 most confident picks. I'm about to take you know, man, Danny Roberts is risky. He's risky, but I'm confident here. I mean, he should be able to win this fight. So I'm taking Danny Roberts as one of my most confident picks, followed by and kind of like Narimani, but I'll take Tybura also. I think Tybura will play it safe and he'll get that win. So Danny Roberts, Tybura, and who else? I just feel very confident in Justin Ledet, so I'm gonna put Justin Ledet in there, even though his odds aren't that great, -120. I think Ledet here is gonna get that win. So those are my top 3 most confident picks. My biggest underdog pick here obviously would have to be Vitor Miranda. You know, he's my least confident pick. He might just get knocked out quickly by a sitar. It's possible, but you know, Miranda still looks durable. So, you know, he's my biggest underdog. So I'm just gonna put him there as my pick for that. But you know, I think he's still gonna be able to get that knockout. So yeah. Anyway, guys, that does it here for my picks. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. As always, you know, sorry for releasing the video kind of late, but you know, it just is what it is. You know, I'm busy and whatnot. But yeah, hope you guys enjoyed the video. Subscribe for more. Let me know who you guys picked. Let me also give me some of your guys' picks. I mean, and yeah, let's see what happens, right? So hopefully we win some money. And yeah, not much else to say. So thanks for watching, guys. Thanks for support, and I'll catch you guys on the next video. Oh yeah, also enjoy the fights. All right, catch you guys on the next one.